20 days. That's how long we've got until March 12th, which marks the beginning of NFL free agency. It's coming up close. I'm pumped about it. You're pumped about it. And on today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 names that are cut candidates for other teams that I would like the Ravens to sign once NFL free agency starts. Welcome into the show, everybody. We're going to start off today with a little bit of a game, okay? I'm going to spin this wheel right here. If you watched our watch parties over the course of the season, you're very familiar with it. Whatever it lands on is what you've got to do, okay? Jack, are we ready? Let's do it. Boom. And she's going. And she's going. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? And boom. Share this video with a friend, okay? If you've got someone who loves the Baltimore Ravens, family member, cousin, best friend, someone you hate, I don't care. Just go ahead. Send this video to them. Tweet it out on Twitter, whatever you got to do. Just get this to the masses. Let's start off with number 1, potential targets for the Baltimore Ravens to sign if they are cut before NFL free agency is cornerback Jaire Alexander. And the cut rumors have been swirling around this week because Rob Demovsky of ESPN came out with this article saying there are strong indications that Alexander's time with the Packers will end without him playing another down. Multiple team sources have privately expressed their frustration with Alexander's inability to stay healthy and or play through injuries. And injuries have been the name of his game over the past few years, especially these last 2. He's only played 7 games in each of his last 2 seasons. That's 14 games combined if you do the quick math. And then you go back to 2021 where he only played 4 games. And the thing about it is they're each kind of with different injuries, right? A couple with the shoulder. This last year was with the knee. And if you look at what the Green Bay Packers could save cutting him or trading him, it's a lot of money. And for a guy who's not on the field, you could save $17 million if he's a post-June 1st cut in 2025. And then going into 2026, you could save $19 million if he is a post-June 1st cut, okay? So it seems like that's where Green Bay is trending because he's just not out there. He doesn't play, and he's one of their captains. He's one of the guys on that team they look to lead. And when you're not on the field, pretty much at all, it's kind of hard to do the job that these guys are wanting you to do, okay? And so because of the money that they can save, I really do think he's going to get cut by Green Bay. And if so, I'd take a shot on him in a heartbeat, okay? I wouldn't really even think twice about it. We all know that what this team needs is a strong press man corner, okay? And that's exactly what Jaire Alexander is. It depends on the cost. It depends on how much you'd have to pay to get him. But he still, I believe, has this capability in him. His 2022 season, second team All-Pro, 14 pass breakups, 5 picks, 56 tackles. I believe that guy is still in there. All he's got to do is get healthy. All he's got to do is stay healthy. And if you look at this cornerback room and what Baltimore's dealing with going into 2025 with Brandon Stevens, Trey White, Arthur Millette, all 3 of those guys possibly not even on this roster, give me Jaire Alexander. I'm doing it in a heartbeat. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Should the Ravens sign Jaire Alexander if he's cut? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. Let me know in the comment section. Up next, we got Joey Bosa, the edge rusher with the Los Angeles Chargers. Daniel Popper of The Athletic had this to say. Bosa has a $36.47 million cap hit for 2025, according to Over the Cap. That is the highest cap hit for any edge rusher in the league this year. Bosa has not been close to that level of player in quite some time, largely due to injury. And kind of like Jaire Alexander, injuries have been the name of his game as well. You look at 2023, and 2022, just 14 games played in those 2 seasons combined. He did play 14 this past year, but he was dealing with a hip injury on and off, and I really believe that affected his play. But still, you look at the PFF grades, still a pretty good year. I think Joey Bosa still has got some left in him. He's got some in the tank. A 64.1 pass rush grade. It's not fantastic. It's not terrible. 34 pressures on the year. That's really good. He's great in run defense as well. And let's face it, if he's on the field, if he is healthy, Bosa is a special player. We've seen that through the entirety of his career. We see it with his brother all the same. I would do a 1-year deal. Okay, I'd take a 1-year flyer. I'd say, you know what? This pass rush needs help. The pressure against Buffalo, I think, is a big reason why you lost that game in the playoffs. And if Bosa's here, if Bosa is healthy, if he's available for that game and in this defense, I think that makes a massive difference, okay? Let me know, do you want Joey Bosa? If so, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Give me a like on today's video. Appreciate all the help we can get. Free way to support the channel is hit that thumbs up button. Coming up, we got 3 more potential targets of possible cut candidates who I'd like the Ravens to sign. But before we get into that, I got to shed some light, okay? Because since the season has ended, this is the 40th video we've put out on the channel. The team's not getting covered better anywhere else all across YouTube. A lot of people take this time in the offseason to dial it back, less content. I will dial it back up in August and September, not here on the Ravens Rundown, okay? We still get you a video every single day in February, March, April, June, July, all the tough months, we got you covered. So go ahead, hit that sub button. Number 3. Davante Adams, wide receiver with the New York Jets. And I know we've talked a lot about Davante in the past few weeks, but I honestly see this as a possibility. Zach Rosenblatt via The Athletic said that Adams played well for the Jets, but he only came to New York to play with his friend. His contract is mostly non-guaranteed, so cutting or trading him would save $29.8 million in cap space with an $8.3 million dead cap charge. So it's pretty much a guarantee that Davante Adams will be cut. And if so, I would not blink. I would not hesitate to pick him up because look what he's done in the past 4 years, even at his age. Even last season, playing half the year with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, maybe not half the year, fourth of the year, and then the other 3/4 with Aaron Rodgers kind of on a down year. He still was able to put up over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, okay? However, with Adams, you still get a little bit of the good and the bad just because of how long he's been in this league, okay? So some pros. I still think he's an elite route runner, okay? He would be a veteran presence in this wide receiver room that's got a lot of young talent in Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers, okay? However, there are some cons as well. He's 32 years old, and last year against man, from week 7 on, from when he went to the Jets, he had the second lowest catch rate, okay? Really, really low. So his hands aren't what they used to be. He's getting a little bit older, but man, I would do it. I love Adams. I think Adams would be a star in this offense, but it has to be for the right price, okay? Because we know the player that Adams thinks he is. We know the confidence that Adams has in himself, and he should have that, right? He's one of the best wide receivers we've seen in this league in a very long time. But still, I would do it for the right price. I wouldn't overpay for a guy who's 32. And we got to remember, he was connected with the Ravens around the trade deadline. I don't know how legit those connections were, but a lot of people, myself included, believe that Baltimore could have been in the running. Okay, so be honest with me in the comment section down below. Name a wide receiver you want the Ravens to land, okay? Not necessarily in free agency. Could be by trade, could be by the draft. You let me know what pass catcher you want in purple and gold in the comment section. Let's go to number 4. Von Miller, edge rusher out of the Buffalo Bills. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Of the 5 targets we're looking at today, I think Von Miller would be the one least likely to come to Baltimore. Joe Buscaglia? Jack, you think that's how you say it? Buscaglia? I don't know. Buscaglia? We're going to read the quote. He said the now rotational pass rusher is entering his age 36 season and carries the second biggest cap hit on the team at $23.8 million. That's an untenable situation given his small role. If the Bills cut him, they would save $8.4 million on the 2025 salary cap. And talk about a guy who has had a little bit of a regression. Okay, he's gotten a lot older. I believe he's somewhere around 35, 36 years old now. But, I mean, coming out of 2024, he had a fine year, 6 sacks, and then really dealt with injuries in 2023. And then 2022 had a pretty good year. 2021 had a pretty good year. But he's what, 3-4 seasons removed from really having any year you'd look at as unremarkable, as you look at as very special. And last year, he was suspended as well for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. So I think a lot goes into this decision and possibly thinking about signing Miller to this team if he is cut. But I'd pass on him. If I'm Eric DeCosta, if I'm John Harbaugh, if I'm Steve Bisciotti, I'm not pounding my fist on the table to get Von Miller on this team. However, if they do it, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd be like, oh, sweet, cool. This team has a history of taking good edge rushers that are a little bit later in their career and giving them a little bit of a late resurgence. I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not pounding the table for them to do it. Let's go to number 5, shall we? Wide receiver back in the pass catchers, Christian Kirk, the current Jacksonville Jaguar, former Texas A&M Fighting Aggie, former Arizona Cardinal. This is what Jeff Howe of The Athletic had to say about Kirk. The Jaguars don't have a lot of options to easily free up chunks of cap space. Cutting Kirk would save $10.4 million in cap space if the Jags need to make a splash move. His production has declined each of the past 2 seasons due to injuries. And one common theme you'll notice about a lot of these guys is they do deal with injuries. That's a lot of the reason why they're looking at being cut. But still, 787 yards in 12 games last year. 379 and 8 is not fantastic, but also that Jacksonville Jaguars team this year was an absolute train wreck. And if you look at the wide receiver room, okay, you see those stars by those names. That means those guys are unrestricted free agents. So Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman are the only 2 guys guaranteed to be on this roster. And if you could add Christian Kirk for less than $10 million a year, I know that'd be a massive pay cut to what his most recent contract was with Jacksonville. I would really, really, really love that signing. I think that would be one of the best signings for this team in the last few years, okay? I think he's still got a lot of good years left in him. If he's healthy, I think he could be an elite talent, okay? Now, I'm not saying he's going to take over the wide receiver 1 spot. I'm not saying he's even going to take over Rashad Bateman in that wide receiver 2 spot. But to have him as your wide receiver 3, your third option as a pass catcher, I would love it. Okay, I would love it. Shout him out for me in the comment section down below. Name a probable free agent you want the Ravens to sign. Let me know in the comments section. And I'm going to flash back to this, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to share it if you're still watching us. It's obvious that you liked it. We did the game. That's what you got to do. I don't make the rules. If you haven't already, share the video. Also, hit that sub button.